I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be fighting, I'm not afraid no more. The Father bless me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No man that rise up inside, the war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer. Conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my praise. Fire upon all faith and career. Father, loose all shackles and chains. This morning, first thing as I wake up, King David turns Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people commit it up, pass me the Congo Jama, let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it so. No weapon that form against us shall not prevail. No man that rise against us, the war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, no, I will conquer, yes, I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. No, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, God. You're everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of our friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember, you give us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of flesh. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil tries to me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could you be that really faithful? Shall not prevail. No man that rise up inside, the war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, no, I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. No, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer. I am a champion. I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Al Radio, broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the live video, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever it is that you're joining us, a special good morning to you as well. It is Friday, TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. It is Friday. It is what we called the beginning of the weekend. And of course, everybody's happy on a Friday, or happier on a Friday, especially if you don't have to work on a Saturday. And with me in studio, I have my co-host, Mr. Roland Vola. Good morning, Mr. Vola.
Good morning, Miss Duncan. In fact, special good morning to you. You look bright. I think you're very happy this morning. You're You're happy. And you know, if it is because yesterday was a good day or last night was a good night or this morning has just been so splendid for you, whatever it is, I'm happy to see you in that mood. I do hope also that all our listeners are in a similar mood like you, smiling, being happy, maybe because it's Friday. And normally
Looks
Fridays.
can be deceiving. I have a splitting headache this morning.
Fridays.
But I choose to smile.
Normally payday. Yeah, well, that's good. You know.
Which Friday is normally payday?
I
So
said no, Fridays are normally paydays. I didn't say this Friday is your payday. I don't know. I don't
I
know
get
when
excited, Dewi.
I don't know when it's your payday. You have never shared that information with me. So sometimes for some people, Friday is a good day. It's a happy day. Not for everyone. But whatever it is, whatever you may be going through, whatever challenges you may have, whatever may be testing your patience or your ability to deal with the realities of life, you know, take it all as an opportunity to grow and to be stronger. Like we sometimes say here on this program, you know, success is not final, neither is failure fatal. It's always and must be seen as an opportunity to do it better the next time around. And the good writer says sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. You never lose, really. So whatever it is that you're going through in life today, just look at it from the positive side. Take it, deal with it, struggle with it, overcome it. Be your best self. Make sure that you are able to come out on the other end as a better person than when you started to go through the struggle or the challenge that you're going through. Whatever it is, it's happy to be with you again today. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. It's winding down to what appears to be a wonderful weekend. I mean, we do have our instances and issues in Grenada that we are grappling with. That's another case, as is being called Patient 25. But I think from what I've learned, from what the media has been reporting to us on what has come out of the Ministry of Health itself, and in particular the Minister of Health, I think everything has been handled, you know, as best as they possibly can, and as best as the resources that are available to them would allow them to. There are 70 plus people who are maybe not necessarily in quarantine, but
in
kept
isolation.
Under a watchful eye in isolation. And from something that I heard yesterday evening into night is that I think they were all tested, they were swabbed and what have you yesterday. And between 9 o'clock last night to sometime this morning, those results most likely was going to be available. So I believe pretty soon we may know whether or not there are any more of these persons who had been in contact with patient 25, if they have contracted the virus or not. But we hope for the very best, and let's continue to work towards getting the best. The best don't just come to us because, you know, we have that God-given right to just get it by the wayside. We have to most times work for it. We have to do something for it. As I've said yesterday, always remember, there is no success without struggle, you know, without making the effort. So, call your neighbor, call your friend, let them know HARDTALK is on again, and we're ready to go. Be part of the conversation, give us a call, link us up with a message, be it on Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, what have you. We'd be happy to have you participating. And I was told by the host this morning that pretty early today, she will be opening up the lines. She's being very generous, I guess. You know, it's weekend. So
well, actually, I don't think we've had much public interaction. Remember, we always want to hear from the public. We always want to get the issues and the opinions and see whatever advice it is that we could possibly give to assist. And of course, if we are unable to give advice or to give information at the time of the call, we always endeavor to find or to locate someone who can assist us. So what we're going to do this morning is we are going to definitely open the lines very early. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what your thoughts are, what your issues are, respectively, of course. And let's see how we can begin the conversation. Let's see how we can go into the weekend nice. You know, I know there are a lot of anxieties out there as it relates to patient 25. People are wondering what's next, what they should do, how we should move forward. Some people are just of the opinion that somebody is to blame. You know, I listened to a very regrettably so listened to a press conference yesterday that from the patient's lawyer. I believe he presented himself as the patient's lawyer, so I can say that with liberty. And regrettably so, the entire press conference was about whose fault it was. You know, and I was very disappointed because we are yet to understand that we don't need someone as adults. We don't need someone to stand over us and say, sit here, don't move for the next 5 days. I think that we are old enough, we are mature enough, and that even if we don't understand or even if something is unclear, that we ask for clarity. And that is something that we always say here. If you don't understand something, if you are not absolutely 100% certain that this is what this is, there is no shame in asking for clarity, right? There is no shame in doing that. So for you to say, oh, well, I wasn't clear, or oh, this is not what I understood by it, then maybe you should have asked for some clarity or ask for some assistance or seek some guidance before making a decision that was solely your decision. Therefore, you must take responsibility for that decision that you have made. You know, and that's why we say adulthood is not about turning 18 to be able to drink and legally and drive and be able to go out and be able to say, well, I big now, I am an adult. It's not about that. It's about accepting life's responsibility. Life itself is a whole responsibility. And we have to accept it, and we have to accept that life is going to come with challenges. We are going to have to make hard decisions. We are going to have to accept responsibility for our actions. We're no longer in school where the teacher could say, well, is the home that do that, you know, or is the mother, or is the father, or you can't blame it on your friend. You know, you have to take responsibility for your actions because they are your decisions, things that you chose to do. So whoever out there feels like it's in your opinion that the government should be blamed, we can't hold you accountable for your opinion. That is your opinion. But what we are advising that you consider is that in decision making, everyone has a responsibility.
And will be held accountable for their actions.
And will be held accountable for
not the opinions. Your opinion,
action.
But your actions for sure. And maybe in some jurisdictions, and under certain conditions, if you have an opinion that strays and is so contrary to what the present and public opinion is. So, for example, under emergency situation, when Emergency Powers Act are being enacted, if one shares an opinion that in the mind of the powers that be, the authorities, that opinion can incite violence and can possibly cause people to act contrary to what the regulations speak to, one can be taken to task for that. So even your opinions at times, while they are yours and need to be respected, not necessarily accepted, you could find yourself in problems for your own opinions, but your actions definitely. And so it is important for us when we as a people decide that we're going to do something, or we're going to follow a crew, or we're going to act based on what someone told us to, especially when we are knowledgeable of the fact that the individuals that we are listening to and we're going to take actionable decisions based on what they said to us, we have to definitely be careful and remember that we are responsible for our actions. And that's why we continue to say to you, try to find out what is the end result expected
Yeah.
by the individual who is encouraging, who is pushing, who is nagging you quietly to take certain actions, to do certain things. Yes? Find out. Try to inquire. Because we have a lot of people, or quite a good cross-section of adults in particular in this country, that moves around very easy, skillfully, slippery, we sometimes say in local terms, like snakes in the grass,
Yeah.
trying to influence the minds of especially the younger members of the population,
Yes.
quietly influencing them to take actions and to do things they know that are contrary to the norms and the basic principles of living in a peaceful society, always trying to stop some kind of action that is going to disturb the peace,
Yeah.
and advising people to not adhere to daily or regular rules and regulation, to be disruptive and ill-disciplined. Yes? And then you ask yourself, why are they interested in me doing such? Why would they encourage me to do certain things? Why do they want me to take those actions? What's in it for me?
Yeah.
What's in it for them?
Mm-hmm.
What do they expect to get as a result of asking and encouraging me to do such things? Because as you've correctly said, becoming an adult is not just to celebrate the fact that I can now walk into a bar without being questioned on what's my age or where's my ID card. You know, I now can make adult decisions on my own, so I can drink alcohol if I wish to, smoke a cigarette or probably even something else. I can go to places without probably having to seek the permission of my parents or my guardians, because I am now considered to be an adult based on how the books have it down. Becoming an adult, getting to that stage, attaining that age, means a lot more. It means also that I now have to take greater responsibility for my action.
Of course.
No longer would my guardian, my parents, my peers have to defend me. I am now at the stage and at the age where I am answerable for the things that I do and the things that I say. So we ought to be much more careful, and we must recognize that while there are many, many, many good people in this country, there are many people who strive to see their lives get better, but the lives of Grenadians in general and Grenada as a country become a better place. That there is growth in the economy and that businesses will continue to thrive and job creation will be there for those who doesn't have a job, that they would find one. And so many good people having good thoughts and taking good actions and wanting to see more and betterment for this country. We must not take it for granted that every single Grenadian has that in them or shares the same principle. They may have it in them, but there are quite a few among us that don't share that same principle and don't act on things in the same way to get that desired results. Some people believe and they have a right to their belief, but they believe that as long as NNP is around and is in government, that is only bad things that can happen. That's their belief. We don't have to follow them. We can question them. We can interact with them, but we don't necessarily have to follow them.
Yeah.
Right? Because when someone asks you or encourages you to do something, you must ask the question, why?
Why?
Why do you want me to do or to say that?
What's the motive?
What is your motive? What is there for me to get as an outcome from what you're asking me to do?
Yeah.
What is it that you will achieve as an outcome from what you're asking me to do or what you're asking me to get involved in? So it's tough time, it's tough decision. And we really want the young people in particular, those who are within hearing of our voices, to recognize that and to look around you, look closely, see what's happening, see and understand what this government is trying to do, what this government is attempting to do. And maybe, yes, some of the programs, they probably haven't gotten it right. They probably haven't gotten all the stops off. They probably may not score 100%. Some may score 90, some may score 95, some may probably score in the 80s.
Yeah.
But the point is, efforts are being made by this administration. Efforts are being made by the people that we, as Grenadians, or the majority of us as Grenadians, voted into office to govern and take control of the affairs of this country.
Yes.
They are doing things. They are trying to make things better. Have they gotten it all totally 100% correct 100% of the times? No. That's the truth. No, they have not had it correct 100% of the time. They have not done it proper 100% of the times. But what one can take comfort in is that they are constantly trying, they are attempting, they are looking at new ways, they are doing new things, they are changing around, they are accepting and admitting where they have shortcomings and faults, and are always prepared to review, to listen, to try differently to make sure that we get maximum benefit all the time for the people of this country.
But also in our personal lives, we never get things 100% right. I've never heard of anybody who's gotten everything 100% right. There are always going to be challenges, and there are always going to be difficulties, and in some cases there are going to be failures. But guess what? That's life. That is life. Without challenges and without failure, we would never be able to grow. We'll never be able to evolve. We'll never be able to advance. We'll never be able to learn new things. That is what life is about. It's a learning experience every single step of the way. So if they had never made mistakes, they'd never know what they've done wrong, then guess what? You know what will happen? If everybody able to do everything right, then we'll have no need for nobody else.
Of course, this world and our lives will not progress. There will not be that quest to know more because we already have it right. It is because of our imperfection as humans. That's why people continue to strive and want to do more and to get it right at all times. And it's important for us to understand that the most anyone can expect of you is your very best effort. Absolutely. Every time.
Absolutely.
And if we are prepared to give it our best try, give it the best we've got, some weeks ago I spoke to the fact that there are some areas of the debushing work and the people who does it, there are some areas that need improvements and still leave something to be desired. While you had some excellent crews, you had some that was better. But I must admit in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if it is because, and I don't want to take any credit, to be very honest. I just want to make the point. I don't know if now I am looking with a more critical eyes since, I've raised that awareness. But I'm seeing in a lot more of the groups, it appears to me that there are more of the ladies in particular coming out with the rakes and the brooms. I'm seeing it. Maybe it was there before. Maybe there have been some improvement, but maybe I just wasn't as observant as I am now. But I'm seeing some improvement in that area. There's still some room for us to go. There's still the need for more people to recognize that they are doing a job for the state and that the monies they receive at the end of the 10 days is monies that are coming from the pockets of Grenadians as tax dollars. Yeah. And only, I think it was this morning or yesterday morning or sometime, I heard a caller called a certain program and was very upset about the fact that and went as far as to accuse the government of wasting resources, wasting taxpayers' money by putting these debushers on the road. Case in point, I say, when I spoke about we are being our worst enemies, in that the government is doing its best in trying to provide an avenue for you to get an income, albeit temporary. Yeah. It's not permanent positions, albeit temporary. But we make little or no efforts to show appreciation. Like a caller said a week ago in speaking about the farm labor program that the Ministry of Agriculture is supervising, undertaken by the government of Grenada, where people are being placed on your farm as a farmer to help you get some work done, to clean, to prepare lands, to help you plant, whatever it is that the activity may be at the time. And they are being paid by the government. And a farmer himself called and said he just doesn't understand the government making this effort to try to assist. And it's as though people want to punish the government for doing it right. And he was speaking specific to the people engaged and involved in the project itself. It's like they want to stroll into someone's land. They want to stroll into the job on the side of the road. Debushing, that's what it is. But you're being paid. Strolling and stroll out. Don't lift a finger. Don't cut a blade of grass. Or don't raise anything that was cut. And I mean, you just have to ask yourself, am I doing justice to myself, to my country, and to my countrymen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because guess what? The 15 representatives that we have voted for, that goes into parliament weekly or bi-weekly, the monies that we receive as salaries or wages or stipend doesn't necessarily come from their pockets, you know. It comes from our own pocket. So we are the investors,
of course,
in this company called Grenada. And the more we do as shareholders, the better the dividends will be for us at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And we have to become cognizant of that. We have to stop this foolishness about party lines, about who is who and who support who. Yeah. There is a time and a place for all of those. When that time comes, we make the decisions. We are, as the people of this country, the examiners. We are going to mark the test papers of our politicians, whether they perform well enough to get a passing grade, or would we fail them? So let's do our part.
Yeah.
Because Tom isn't doing his part doesn't make it right for Harry not to do. Harry must continue to do his part once he knows what his part is, what his role and functions are. And he cannot then say, well, Tom is not doing his, so I'm not doing mine too. Then you are as bad and as guilty as Tom is for not doing. And you cannot and should not be using Tom's inaction or inability or refusal to perform his task and his duty to the best of his ability as an excuse for you not performing as well.
And you're right, Mr. Bola, and we see it so often. People just finding a reason why they are not doing what they're supposed to do because Jack didn't do this or John didn't do something else, and it's always it's like a cycle.
It is a vicious cycle.
You point a finger at somebody and somebody else points a finger at somebody, but nobody is pointing a finger at themselves and saying, listen, what was my role in alleviating this problem? What was my role in making sure that this is a success? What is my role in ensuring that whatever programs and so on is put in place thrives? And if it does fail, how did I contribute to it?
To its failure, yeah.
You know? Or how did I not contribute to its failure? You see, we have to start looking at things in this way. Looking at self first.
Clean our lenses and make sure that we have sometimes what we say, a bird's eye view.
Of course. And there's a saying that goes, you don't throw stones if you're living in a glass house.
Yes.
It's a very relevant statement, especially now, where everyone seems to want to be able to blame someone else. Somebody must take the fall. Somebody has to be the fall guy. Somebody has to take the blame for something happening. And in most cases in Grenada, it's always the government. You know, you go outside and you trip on a stone, it's the government because the bushes didn't sweep the road properly.
Oh, they didn't move that
Or they
stone.
didn't move the stone.
Yeah.
You go outside and rain fall and in front of your house flood, is the government fault because the wardens didn't clean the drain in front of your house. You know, it's always somebody's fault that something happened. And when you ask, okay, well, what did you do to help fix that problem? What could you have done to help assist in alleviating this issue? They never could tell you what they could have done, but they could very well point out all of the reasons why it failed because this person didn't do XYZ. We have a caller on the line, our first caller for the morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Hi, morning.
You are afraid that it will call with you, so you take it quickly.
No.
Good morning to the dog.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you today? I missed you, you know. I went to the back of the garden to do some work there. I said I'm going to come back in time, but when I come back, you're gone already.
Oh, I'm sorry, but at least you was productive.
But no, you're supposed to be there for the whole day, up to 4. That's work.
I am working up until 4. In fact, I work even after 4. I was engaged in Zoom meetings up to 8:30, probably up to closer to 9 o'clock last night.
In the building?
No, not at the building here, but I'm always doing what I'm supposed to do.
What do I'm talking about where you are?
No, I'm not in this building all day.
Okay.
I'm here for a certain time.
Okay. Now, I listen to you. And again, you know, exciting stuff. But I'll tell you something. The reason why we're not getting the kind of production we're looking for is for accountability.
Accountability.
You see, you could give me a job as hard as it is and as easy as it is. If you don't hold me accountable, I might just run away.
Yep.
And come back again tomorrow and you say nothing.
Yep.
Consequences for not performing the duty. So when I hold you accountable, there's consequences. That is the root problem. Now, I go way back when I started to work with government in 8th of May 1980. I went to do a task, and some people thought, you know, I was too small, and how would I accomplish that because you have stubborn people. I said, look, you don't know me. You know, there's 2 ways of doing things, a very soft way and a very hard way. And if I counsel you and I show you a role or show you my role and you fail to do it, I give you time.
Yes.
And then when the consequences start falling, then you pay. And that's what I did. I transformed the whole time. Well, how do you succeed that? Yes, I succeeded because, you see, I came to manage. I was responsible. And I was accountable. I had to submit a monthly report to my department, which goes to the Prime Minister, and I make no joke about that. So if you're not going to perform, I will find a way to make you perform. I did. And so what government have to do, we know the Public Service Commission maybe have a problem there because there's a lot of things maybe that's not going wrong there. I don't know, maybe the politics, the case may be. But from there, you hold people accountable. If you come in to do a job, we give you an assignment, you have a job description, and you fail to perform based on the job description, then the letter is supposed to speak. In other words, you know, the letter is supposed to speak 1, 2, and how much? 3. 1, twice, the notices, and then you know what it is? You either be demoted or removed from the service. Simple. Somebody else coming will understand what happened to you, and they might not do what you did. So we have to hold people accountable.
Yep.
And that is where the problem is. We're failing there because, well, you know, if I do that, they're going to vex with me. Hey, you could vex with me if you want. You like me, thank you. Don't like me, thank you very much. So I'm doing my job, and we got to get to that area like the private sector. You don't perform, then you go. If you perform, you stay.
Yep.
Simple.
Very
Anyway, I'll try to get back at you after lunch because what I want to discuss is very, very important.
Okay, great.
Right?
Great.
Have a great day.
You as well, and thank you for your thoughts. A rule-based society, setting the rules and living by the rules, making everyone accountable. And that's a bit more of what our society needs. And for too long, our politicians have been taking the blunt of the blame for a lot of things that they sometimes are not responsible directly for. Yeah. I mean, indirectly, they may have to get some blows because they are the policy setters, they are the policy makers. But as the caller rightly said, if we set tasks, if we make people become accountable or more accountable, if we become a rules-based society where rules are placed and people are they are expected, but more than expected, they must become knowledgeable that there's an expectation on their part to follow through based on the rules. And if they didn't, the consequences will follow. I think that will help us a great deal.
We have a call on the line. Good morning.
Hi, yes. Morning,
How
sir.
everything?
Very well.
Yeah, with Duncan, Mr. Buller, I want to say that leadership, people in leadership, it should be someone to motivate others, motivate people around them.
Yeah.
Right? Give them the right advice, encourage them to do what is. Even when in leadership, you have to be on the ground with people, showing them that you're working and you want to go forward in the thing that they put you to manage. Right? And that's what I always say to people. Listen, when you give people negative things, you can instill negative things into them. It is difficult for you today not to come to get positive things from them. And I always say that if you encourage people to do negative things and they fail, they not only the person that encourage you to do negative things that fail, you also, who call yourself a leader, you fail. You fail yourself. Because as a leader, you should try to inspire people to go forward and to develop their life. As the Word of God said, to pray for all men that will live a peaceable life. You know, sometimes in life, like say, like you plan to crab and people teeth in. Some people go say, well, poison thing. That is not it. You pray for the people who are depriving you, right? So that they will change their lifestyle. And when they change their lifestyle and they live a peaceful life with the brother and the sister, the country will be a better place to live. But when you're encouraging people to do negative things, some days will come, because remember, when they thief Mr. John and encouraging them to thief, they go come back and thief you. And you go get problem with them, because that's what you encourage them. So I want to say to people who consider themselves to be leaders, change your attitude, change your life, because you cannot grow with negative things. You cannot grow with negative. Only how you can go forward in life, you have to be positive. Speak positive things and do positive things. You cannot speak negative things on people to do the positive. I want to say, when looking at the NMP government and NDC government, where NMP government there to come and clean up the mess that NDC did. Remember in 2008 2013, the Chinese were giving the government 2,000 housing units. A 1,000 housing units or give up, because they say like they can't go through that. The government, like even come and they say that the China give the two projects which are not true. Well, income NMP government NMP part in government, and they get back the 2,000 houses that they give up. So you see, when you look through the world today, one of the most important things and show that government have is better housing units for the people. Right? Because government is there to make life better and to make life worse for the people. I want to say, when you have a leader, a strong leader, a leader with a vision, and people around that leader see the vision and they work to bring development to the people create Carriacou and even the country that they lead in. There must be growth and prosperity in the people and peace and stability. But when you have a leader trying to bring division among even the old members in Parliament, that is a sort of chaos. Because I remember in 2000, every time 2008 at reshuffle made, it was not made with honest heart. You made it with malice. And there was two positions that was not unchangeable. We know the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. And Minister of Finance was the worst minister that we got in history in Greater Carriacou and Pitimati. Right? And that Minister of Finance was unchangeable. Where you know you want to read that. So, Mr. Uncle, Mr. Bola, you all have wonderful day. God bless you.
We can thank you for your comments. As the caller was saying, a lot of what is done by the people comes back to the footstool of the leaders. The leaders are the ones who set the policy, who makes the rules, and who has to supervise over what the people do. But as a people, we must also become a lot more conscious-minded and, give recognition to the fact that this country belongs to all of us. And whatever we do and however we do it, it's going to reflect and it's going to affect one way or the other. other, negatively or positively. We are going to make our country shine brighter, or we are going to put it under a darker, bitter clouds. Yes? So Grenada being promoted internationally is not just a responsibility for the government. It's not just a responsibility for the Minister of Tourism. It's not just a responsibility for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to go out there and talk nicely about Grenada. It is a responsibility for each and every one of us. So first, we must do things proper within the rules. But second, we must defend our country when other people wants to come into our country and behave as though Grenada is a free-for-all. There's no laws, there's no regulation, so we can always go there and do as we wish, right? I am not advocating that anyone takes up the responsibility of the law in their own hand. There are systems in place, but I'm talking now that we have that right and that freedom to report to the authorities, even if we notice that the person who is engaged in it is someone who is holding high office. We have that responsibility because we can only grow and get better. And I must add here that this present administration is doing a tremendously good job. A tremendously good job, especially when one considers the economic situation that we are in, especially when we consider the fact that COVID-19 has actually put a halt on economic progress. In fact, not too long ago, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia made an announcement letting the people of St. Lucia know that the government of St. Lucia is virtually broke, that they could not continue to give stimulus packages and assistance as they were doing for people. And that, if the economy didn't start bouncing back pretty soon, the drastic measures that may have to be taken in Grenada, we have not yet come to that. And that is due to the fact that we have visionary leadership and we have people who, while in a time when we were collecting less than 50% of the expected revenue or the revenue based on what was collected in a similar period a year and 2 years ago, we have been able to maneuver this very difficult and choppy, stormy waters based on the captain that we have at the helm of the ship. Yes? So we now as a people must give credence where it is due, but more importantly, give support so that we can continue to do as good as we are doing. Sometimes you wonder, some people only speak to make news.
Yes.
And
so true.
Not because
it's true.
They believe what they're saying can have some positive effect.
Mr. Bola, you are absolutely right. And it shows, especially recently, where before there is an issue, before someone even seeks counsel from someone who is able to assist or someone who may be able to provide information that can assist, you see they end up on GBN or they end up on MTV or they end up on
well, just say the media.
Well, the media, some show or some social media, something. That's where they end up first. And then you ask yourself, well, what is the motive? If you didn't ask nobody for assistance, if you haven't contacted the relevant personnel in order to assist you, then what is your motive for going to the media? Is it because you want now the public to rally behind you so that whenever it is the relevant authorities hear about the situation, they will feel more compelled to attend to the situation in the way that you want them to, not just attend to it, but in the way that you want them to attend to it? Or is it because you really and truly do desire some assistance and you've tried everything that you have to try, and this is your last resort? But it is never that case. It is always some popularity contest, always some way and means of showing or trying to show that there is some instability, or even that you are this vigilante. You are the public's...
That's a strong word.
Yes,
vigilante.
Yes, vigilante. You are out there for the rights and the freedom of the people and all of that. The motive, Mr. Bola, the motive is what is important all of the time.
All of the time, the motive is important. And we do have some people that have ulterior motives. And, yeah, goals and ambitions and wanting to get more for yourself and for others is always a good thing. But it's how you set out to get them.
Get it.
Yeah, that is what is the defining line between somebody that is honest, reasonable and responsible, and someone who is dishonest, unreasonable, and not responsible. So we have to be very careful.
You have to be careful. Guys, remember the lines are open. The number to call is 440-7377 if you're calling locally. If you are in the diaspora, if you want to give us a call, it's 347-329-3101. Mr. Paula, I think we could take a break,
A break?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'm fine. I find we could take a break, man.
But why? I'm asking. I'm not telling you. You are in charge here. In case all you did not know, she's in charge, right? I just want to make that very clear. But I want to use the opportunity. If you are taking a little break for whatever you're going to fix or repair there, I see you joking. One time, people in my very early days, we used to see as young guys, we'd never buy a Ford vehicle. Mm-hmm. Ford, F-O-R-D, because Ford meant in our minds in those days, fix or repair daily. F-O-R-D, fix or repair daily. Who want a vehicle that you have to fix or repair daily?
Nobody wants
we
that.
said we're not going to buy Ford. But that was just us as young people. I mean, I don't know, we probably really did believe that. But while you fix or repair what you're repairing, I just want to say hello to some lovely people out there. There's so many of you that message me on a day-to-day basis saying, but you ain't even giving me a little shout out. But sometimes, my dear, we really don't get the chance. We don't get the opportunity for shouting out a lot because, the program is so intense. There's a lot that we want to give out. There are a lot of information, and especially when the calls are coming in, when you're discussing an intense topic, we want to give people as much opportunity as is possible to have this, to express the opinion, mainly to give facts. But if you don't have all of the facts, but you have an opinion of something, you say, well, this is my opinion on the issue, on the matter. Yeah. We accept that too. We accept people's opinion. Once it is done respectfully, once you're not trying to destroy another person's character with what you say and how you say it, we welcome all of that. So sometimes I don't get a chance. But hey, Mr. Abraham, Bernadette Abraham out there, you always tell me, boy, you're on the radio saying all kinds of things and I'm hearing you on a daily basis. Shout me out. No, I'm shouting you out today. Big shout out for you. And for a lot of the other folks around that neck of the woods, the Tivoli Poetry Conference kind of area, which is my area. St. Andrews North, Pearls and Simon and Dunfermline and wherever else you are. And to the many, many, many other folks that I meet on a daily basis. Sometimes you are in my company, Ms. Duncan, when we meet them and they say, oh, man, today was a bomb. I listened yesterday and the listenership is out there. They're going.
I always get that. I'm passing it on and somebody's calling Ms. Duncan and I'm looking, Lord, I don't know this person.
But they know you.
They know me.
Right. So we just want to shout everybody out and we're saying to you, whoever you are, whether we know your name or not, Carriacou last
Mr.
night.
Mills.
Yeah, well, Mr. Mills and others, last night was really a wonderful meeting. We have been doing over the past months a series of these virtual meetings with the various constituencies and so on. Last night was really, as we say in local terms, and I like to use a little local parlance now and then, last night was a bombshell. The question and answer session in particular, because that's how we design it, that you have the parliamentary rep and a couple other people from the executive level of the party would speak on issues, party issues, some of them on government issues, and then you give the opportunity to the folks to ask the questions and to state their concerns, sometimes not necessarily a question, but a concern or an observation that they have, or even an advice that they want to give. And really, I give some credit. So, hey, all of you folks out there, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, last night was wrong one for you. Like I've said to them last night, and I've said to every other constituency, the schedule is already prepared for round two. which should start, I think, next week in Honest, once all goes well. So we're coming back to you. And for those who did not get the opportunity during their first round of the session to ask a question or make a point, because you can't take everybody, Sometimes in these virtuals, you have 300 plus people, 400 people.
Yeah.
Everybody just can't ask a question. There's not
True.
sufficient time, or sometimes what you want to ask was already asked by another person, probably in a slightly different way, but the gist of what you wanted to know, you got to know it. So for those who didn't get the opportunity this time, the next time around, we do hope that you would get a chance to do it. So again, I have this friend down in the south who works at one of the it's not a hardware, but it's like a mini mart and a wholesale place there, who have lost her number. We used to contact and say hello to each other, and my phone got wet and destroyed, and I haven't said hello to her in quite a while. If you're listening at all out there, by I think it's an arm of Brighton and Miners. Is it Brighton and Miners? I'm not sure. I know the place, but I'm not sure. I think it's Brighton and Miners. Yes.
Where is this?
Bulk buy, they sell chicken and whatever.
Yes.
And that. So if you are at all listening to this program, I just want to say hello to you. I never forgot you as a friend. It's just that I no longer has your contacts. I don't have your digits as we see it. So
I find you saying hello to a lot of people this morning. I felt
well,
like
you asked for a break because you were going to do something, Ms. Duncan. I didn't mean for you to get jealous about me saying hello to people. I just wanted to utilize the time, and as the producer and the host of the program, if you think that I have strayed for long enough, say, well, we're back, we're ready to go back on, complete what I was doing, so your break is over. And I will stop.
It's nice. It's nice to say hello to people, but if I have a lot of people, I have to give you a special segment after the national report just for you to.
I am not requesting. I'm not asking. I'm saying hello to everybody in general. There was just a specific few. I was just
look. You have people on the live saying I'm jealous. I'm not jealous.
Of course, I agree with those of you on the live 100%. She's just jealous, and there's nothing to be jealous about. Absolutely nothing. I am a frail old man who much people don't look at for a second time. One look and they turn their head. So what could you be jealous about? It's just that I'm outgoing and friendly individual. I try to make myself into the person that is easily approachable.
And a very popular person too.
No,
yes,
that
every
one.
Time we go out, everybody
No.
knows.
Say every time we go on an errand. You see this, I keep warning you. People are going to connote the wrong idea every time we go out. Every time we go on an errand, every time our boss is here, ask us to do a delivery. Because many times we go out to deliver letters and packages and, or pick up stuff. And I'm happy that you can go with me, especially when we have to go inside the town itself. It's so difficult sometimes to get a park.
So many vehicles, wow.
Yes, we do have a lot of vehicles in the town. Like the town is getting, yes. I know Dr. Mitchell and his team did do some expansion. An old man tell me once, but how they go ever beat Dr. Mitchell in an election? The man make the town bigger than it was. He said Grenada is no longer 133 square miles.
I believe that.
Anyway, even though there have been expansion, it appears now that we need 3 times that expansion
and
to the town.
And the ban on the importation of
vehicles over, I think, over 5 years or something.
Moved to December.
Well,
so
there were some people I understand that probably had orders and so in that needed to be fulfilled. So the government was a bit lenient and said, look, no more ordering. We give you up until December to get it in. And if not, that's it.
That's it. But we have a lot of vehicles here, man.
Right.
Wow.
So it's nice when you can be there with me so I can drop you off as I normally do. You're going and run the errand and I make a little drive around, a circle and pick you back up and so. So when we go to run an errand. When we go to run an errand.
It's the people's work.
Right. And not when we go out. Great. So, we're back.
Before you go, I want to take this opportunity to say good morning to Miss Allison. I know she listens every single morning.
Yeah, she's an
And she
avid listener.
calls afterwards and she gives the critique. For those of you who don't know Miss Allison, that's Mr. Pola's wife.
Well, who tell you they want people to know I have a wife? Anyway,
That's Mr.
my
Pola's
loving wife.
Good morning, Miss Allison. I can't wait to hear from you after the program to see how it was. But guys, this is how we are. And sometimes, it's always good to be good with people, Mr. Bola.
It is.
It's good to have good relationships with people because at the end of the day, who wants to go around walking around just being mad all the time? Somebody yesterday, me and somebody were walking through town and they said to me, they say, that man is an NDC now. I say, but how you could tell? She said, easy, their face always vex.
Well, I don't know. I don't have such great abilities in me. My instincts are not strong enough to tell me so. But if there are people who have that God-given gift and can look at someone and just decipher which political organization that they
is
support,
real gift.
that's
Yeah.
a good gift.
We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Zonkan.
Hi, morning.
Yeah. I love the joke when you talk about the Ford man. Yeah, but I remember when they say BMC today, they say bring money come. When they say BMC. Yeah, because they say some pressure group or whatsoever, they say launch. I don't know if it's a splinter of the NDC or what, but I find surprised. I find all the NDC activists endorsing that group. So
Yeah, they endorse
I don't know
it.
if they want to change the name. If they intend to change the name from MDC to that group, and they do it in that technical way. But I find that strange that all of them supporting it.
Don't find it strange. Anything that will oppose the NNP, the NDC will support.
Of course, even if they are not directly
So
associated.
if a group commits some positivity, like NGO or community, they won't support that because
No.
it don't sound right to them. Because
No.
because I see good people, I just see people as well when this Ignacio want to join NNP welcome him.
Yes.
But you NDC will welcome. And anytime you go into that group, you always be come a disciple of haters. Even though you could live good, I see how far it stand and the rubber time come to. They were never that type of person. When you hear them for all the years, you following them. All of a sudden, they just come disciples of haters. There's something inside it. Somebody, they have special schools, maybe teaching people that are inside them.
Maybe, but don't go to see, because you might come like them. Stay clear.
And whatever, like you get with GBN, anytime GBN wants reference, they want some kind of reference from people, they just go to Claude. When Claude come out openly and say he does lie, he come publicly and say that he's a liar. And when he tell me call him and he call behind that, when he sent to apologize and he $10,000 to charity, I pay some million or whatever lawsuit. He come openly and say he does lie, and then GBN always going to him for comments. I don't know if GBN forget that. If a man tell you openly he does lie, you won't go for comments for him?
Well, maybe they like people who does lie. I don't know.
But every time they always going to him for comments, and he come publicly and say he does lie. He say that. He can say you want to get rid of NP, he use all the things and lie. I don't know if people forget that. You take care, man. Listen, I don't call about that day.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being an ardent listener. We thank you for your comments today. It's good when some people, because there's a lot of people who say, boy, I listen, I don't call. And we say to them, we can call. It's not necessarily because you have a question. Sometimes you just want to call to say, hello, look, I'm here. I like the program, or I wish to hear you talk or expand more on an issue that is of concern to you. If, like we say, we are not the repository of all knowledge here. We don't have all facts here. But whatever we don't know, we can seek the information and help to share it, because that's our endeavor. Our endeavor is to bring a very realistic information to people. So let us know. Send us a message. Send something on the live. As some people express their feeling that Miss Duncan is a jealous lady. Most women are, but you probably is a bit more than others. So people are seeing it in you.
There's jokes this morning.
Yeah.
I wanna make an appeal this morning, though, Mr. Bola, to the young people on the island. As a youth, as a young person myself, I am very solution oriented, and we're getting a call, so we'll take the call, because I did promise the callers that they'll get their time, and then I'll go back to that point. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yesterday morning, I listened to a guy talk about Rolo. Rolo is such a, I don't know what to call him.
Well, call him something good or don't call him nothing at all.
We used to do paving in the airport. The people pay in US. Rolo paying us in EC. He not paying NISRS till we had to beat him.
All you did? All you really did?
He's a very wicked man. People, although he going on the radio and pretending, as the fella say, that he's so innocent, he's so decent. But Rolo is one kind of Christian. He has
hold on. Before you go any further, you can substantiate all the things you're saying. Eh? You have facts.
That's what I'm telling you. That's from my...
From your own experience with him.
What I experienced with him.
Okay.
He's not a nice guy. He has no God in his heart. He's a kind of guy that you could never take no chance with. He have no, well, he don't like nobody. Because you're going to cross him the road, he'll do all kind of thing to you. All kind of thing. He's not a people person. So when he going on the radio and running him out and saying this and saying that, and the people hugging him as if he's a Christ, he's a thing, Rolo has nobody in heart. Nobody in heart. We had to give him a good licking on the foot one night.
All right. Thank you so much
he's
for
not a nice fella.
Thank you for your contribution, caller.
Who want to hear him?
Yeah.
Who don't want to listen, don't listen. But he's not a nice guy.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution.
We appreciate that. And the caller said that they can substantiate the claims they're making.
Yeah, that's their opinion, of course.
Well, they said a personal experience. Because I wanted to make sure it was not just an opinion but an experience.
Absolutely.
You know, because when we say things that directly affect people and their character,
you have to be able to substantiate it. Yes, you do. I do want to make my point at this time. I am very solution oriented. So I see a problem and immediately I think of how can this problem be best solved? Who do I need to contact? Who do I need to speak to? What lengths do I need to go to get this issue resolved? Now, I want to appeal to young people because there seems to be a growing trend here in Grenada. And it's a very unsettling trend, I've noticed, where young people feel that it is some young people feel that it is okay to just say what they want on social media, be as negative as they want without any facts. And if there is an issue, especially if it is a negative issue, they would lend their voices to that negative issue. And the voices that they lend are not voices of consolation. It's not voices of with solutions. It's not voices of positivity, but it is lending voice to negativity. It is expounding and making the situation worse. And I want to appeal to young people that this is not the way that we want to go. That's not the foundation that we want to set for ourselves and for our children. It is not the Grenada that we want to establish. You know, we know that change is something that is necessary. Change is something that is constant. It happens. Growth is also something that is constant. Growth is something that is necessary. We want to grow up and we want to grow out. We don't want to become an arm or an extension of. We want to set foundations that help build and create a future for ourselves. Now, are we going to build and create a future based on negativity, based on protests, based on all of these things? Is that what we want for ourselves? Is that the history? Because you hear of the history of the revolution, you hear about all of the fighting, you hear the good, the bad, the ugly. When people look back on Grenada in the next 30 years, we would no longer be the youth. We would be the people doing the looking back. Our children would be the ones looking back. What do we want them to say about our past? You know, they say your past doesn't determine your future, but in some cases it does.
It should help guide. I don't know.
It should help guide your future, but it doesn't determine it.
Yeah.
That's what some say. But I want people to understand, especially the young people, do not become pawns of political ping pong, as they call it. we say we want to be an independent people. We say we want to thrive and we want to do things differently. But yet we are following in the same footsteps. We are using the same bylaws and the rules and the guidelines of the people before us who never really meant well for us.
Good way to put it. And as you say, being pawns, for those who understand the game of chess, there are many different knobs that you can use. So there's the knight, there's the bishop, there's the king, there's the queen, there's the pawn. And the pawn is the lowest level of knob on the board. There are much more. There's only one king, there's only one queen. I think there are 2 knights and 2 bishops, but there are several pawns.
Yeah.
And do not be a pawn in the political arena because you are the one that get pushed the most. And
but
always
you don't
up
benefit.
front. The pawns are always up front and they have only one move.
They take all the licks.
While a king can move from here to way over there, not the pawn. The pawn has only one push. You have a caller there?
Yes, we have a call on the line.
Good morning, caller. Sorry about that. Oh,
no, we seem to lost the call.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
sorry.
but
caller,
you're
you can please call back. Sorry that we have lost your call.
And that is absolutely what is happening now. There are people in the background, political people in the background, that are looking at these young people and saying, okay, well, look, these young people, they have concerns and they have they are angry and so on, and they are saying to these young people, listen, they don't want the best for all y'all. They had to make noise, all they had to jump up, but these are the same people who are in this same position now. You have to ask yourself, what did they do for you?
Yes.
When they were in that position, and now they are pushing you in the front line and saying to you, go out there and protest, go out there and make noise, don't let it take away your rights and freedoms. That's what they're saying to you, to enrage you, to make you angry, to make you do the things that they don't have the guts and the gumption to do themselves.
Yes, words, my girl, guts and gumption.
No, but it is true.
Yes,
they are making you do the things that they cannot do themselves, because they are hoping that when you make the noise, they reap the benefit. And I want young people to understand, to look closely, to analyze these things and become independent thinkers. And independent thinking does not mean that you join in with those who are saying no to something. It means that you analyze that situation and determine whether it affects you enough for you to say no to it. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my dear heart.
Good morning.
Duncan. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you taking care. Hello, my beautiful, handsome, well, I don't know how to put it, Brother Bola.
I am your good, handsome brother. And how are you this morning, Miss Jacob?
I'm all right.
Well, I'm so happy to hear.
All right.
Yeah.
You know something? You think there's no. This why you see that guy talk about it. I told Dr. Kid the whole program about Rolo. Dr. Kid said, Miss Jacob, I don't want to go on the air with that because I don't want people, because you know you're living in a place that is very dangerous.
Yes.
Although I live in the byway, right? But I live in at the corner.
Okay.
My house is in the center. You have to come up and the thing there, you come up and then you have to go wrong and you meet the veranda there. Ah, boy. I don't, Bola. I could give you a full history about Rolo.
No, but we don't want
Let me tell you, they used to call me Miss Bishop,
Yeah, well, we know that. He was very involved, yes.
Miss Bishop was my name. And that Friday, I could tell you. That's why I tell you, when I go in behind people, I want on top. I go on top,
Yes.
Because when the wind blow out everything, you don't get in good substance from the top.
Yeah.
Everything's get all about.
Yeah.
And I know about it. That Friday, Brother Bishop going to pay workers. He had a fortnight workers, and he had from Monday to Friday workers. And I ain't telling you what they say. Ay, ay, ay. My brother, thank you. God bless you. And God go bless you. We had to keep up, Rolo. So wicked. You know who doing that? Is either Venezuela or a Trinidadian. What they do, he used to take money in these two people money.
All right, Miss Jacob.
Easy and getting it in the U.S.
Yes,
Behave on yourself.
Miss Jacob.
All have a wonderful and a blessed day. I could make a whole book out.
Write the book. Don't tell us on the radio. We're going to read the book. You have a wonderful Friday.
Okay,
and a really blessed weekend as well.
All right.
Yeah. If we don't have a caller now, we have someone who is having a big celebration today. Miss Uncle.
I hear it too.
You hear about it too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me see if I can put on the professional voice and say that on the behalf of the entire NNP family, the whole family, all well-wishers, supporters, members, voters, whatever you are, we want to join together at this moment, on this very day, to wish a very, very happy birthday to one very, very, very special lady today.
A matriarch.
Do you know who that lady is?
Absolutely.
But you go right ahead and take the claims of calling her name and wishing her happy birthday.
Why? You were doing it so well.
But a combination of you and I just makes it.
All right, here's what I will do. I will say my piece, and then what we'll do is we'll play the song.
Okay.
This lady, this matriarch, produced one of the most successful leaders in the Caribbean. She is a strong black role model.
Strong black woman.
A strong black woman. She is the mother of our Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable
Keith
Mitchell.
Mrs. Mitchell.
Mrs. Mitchell.
Happy birthday to you.
Mm-hmm. Without her production, we wouldn't have a lot of what we have now as a result of his strong leadership. So, all in all, she is responsible for a lot of the development that we have here in Grenada.
Well, for his birth, for his discipline,
yes,
for growing him up with that love
yes,
and caring spirit that he had to share and continues to share with the Grenadian people. His love for country, his love for people, the care and concern that he shows, all came out of the bosom of his mom.
Yes.
And together with him and the rest of your family, we want to wish you, the entire NNP family wants to wish you a very, very happy day today.
And this definitely does go out to her. Let me make sure all my other things are muted so it's not conflicting. And happy birthday to you, Mrs. Mitchell.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I never understood how men who died for good could not have a David Wood. He said, aside for recognition, because it should never be. Just because some cannot see, but dream as clear as he. That they just make it become an illusion, and we all know everything. But it's just a powerful brain, or in peace the heart will sing. Thank Martin Luther King. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Yes,
All
there you have it,
right.
folks. We did it, and we did it for the mom, the mother of our dear Prime Minister, serving Prime Minister of this island. Hard-working, continues to be hard-working,
Yeah.
continues to exert energy as though he's just 16.
Yeah.
I mean, his mother, I'm not too sure what age she's celebrating, but I know she's past 90.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. Longevity. She still is strong. She still walks around. She still goes to church. She still does things around the house, as far as I understand. So.
And she's right there with him with every big decision in his life. Eh?
Yes.
You always see her right there with him.
Yes.
That is a true definition of what when they say behind every man is a strong woman.
Okay.
She is that strong woman for him.
Okay.
She is that strong woman. So very happy birthday to you, Mrs. Mitchell. And we hope that you have a wonderful day and that God brings you longer life,
Yeah.
continued health, and many, many blessings on this beautiful, beautiful day.
Great.
Beautiful day. All right. So we want to continue opening the lines. We want to continue hearing from you. And Mr. Bola, I want to go back to my original statement as it relates to young people. And I want us to understand that it is important as a young person to decide for ourselves what we want our future to be founded on. You know, I hear a lot about not enough is being done for the young people and so on. And that is a something that is being preached and it's being said all over the place. But what I am yet to hear is what are the propositions? What do you propose can be done? Because guess what? At the end of the day, when you are saying that not enough is being done for young people, it must be on the basis that you know what is already being done, what the problems are, and what possible solutions to those problems can be. And sometimes that's where our problem stems. It stems from the fact that we always see the problem. We're good at seeing problems, but we are never good at giving solutions to those problems, proposing solutions to those problems. And that is what I want to see more of. If you believe deep down in your heart with honesty and you're speaking it, that not enough is being done for young people, then you must also, with that analysis, be able to say what more you think can be done. What avenues do you think can be improved upon so that more can be done for young people?
So-
There's a call that's been coming in on the WhatsApp, and I want to get it because I don't want to get in trouble for not taking the calls. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. No, we seem to be having a problem getting that call in. But we do have one on the overseas line as well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
How you doing? How is Mr. Bola?
Are you ready? Ask him now.
I don't want to ask Mr. Bola how he doing. Because he might tell me something and then he might not tell me the right thing. That's why I'm asking you or get the truth from you.
I want to believe he's fine. I really do.
Okay. Mr. Bola, is that true?
Well, if you talk to me now and answer you good morning first and foremost, I don't know if you should just you want to believe. I know that I'm okay.
Okay.
See?
I know.
All
I'm
right.
okay.
All right.
And I hope you are as well.
Well, I'm not quite okay because I hear the police giving away ticket left, right, and center, and I want a ticket to come home.
Well, boy, all you have to do is get in the game. Do what others doing, and you will get your ticket.
Or not doing.
Or they not do. Or either what they're doing or not doing. It depends on how you look at it.
Okay. I wanna say that I'm very much disappointed with that situation that we have home. With as it relates to the breaking of quarantine.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And now a lot of people's lives was put at risk because of one foolish decision. I don't think that was called for, but something that the doctor said in his press conference when pressed that shocked me. He was asked if that was the only person who would have left quarantine. And the doctor said no, that he is not the first. However, that was the first person with a confirmed case of COVID-19. So I want to know what happened to the other persons who would have broke quarantine. I think they also should be charged. Even though the test came back negative, I think they should be charged for that too. And I still strongly suggest to the commissioner of police, because I know the what you may call him, the police officer in charge of the community relation department.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Cohen was whatever his name.
Danny Cohen.
Say again?
Danny Cohen.
Right. Vanny Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly suggest that he also be charged for breaking the law, because and I believe there should be no one above the law. And I remember when they had this incident in Guav, he was among the people, being a leader, being someone who forcefully talk in relation to enforcement of the law. He was not wearing masks together with the officers around him, and I think it is very much unfair that some people, depending on your position in society, it appears to be, and let me say it appears to be, depending on your position in society, would not be charged if you commit certain crime, if you break certain laws. And other persons would be charged. So I think in that regard, being fair, right across the board, he also and the officers that was with them should be charged. I hope that I pray that the acting commissioner of police is fair, do what is right, if he has a good conscience towards us. And I don't know why, again, just let me pop this out, why we have an acting commissioner of police. I mean, the guy is doing a good job. Just give the guy the job as commissioner of police. We should not have an acting commissioner of police. So I also advocate that the acting commissioner of police title be changed to commissioner of police, because I personally believe that is foolishness. He has been doing a very good job. Based on my observation, and I think he should think. Also, I'm not sure if he still have acting director of the financial unit, but there should not be an acting position. I think we have qualified persons. You have qualified persons sitting in the position. Let's go ahead and get them confirmed. Give them the title, take out the acting behind the name. So that's my contribution. Anyhow, I was deceived today because I know normally on Fridays, well, a couple of times I was expecting some Senate hearing or what, but then I turn and I see you guys, so I was surprised. So you and Mr. Bola,
you were surprised.
well, you and Mr. Bola conspire, I guess.
Absolutely not, my brother. We
All right,
we
but,
are off when the Senate is meeting. I think it was week before last. They had the
last week they opened it up.
Was last week Friday? Yes. So it was the new session was last week. So I think from next week, Friday, hopefully, based on the information we have had thus far, there will be a sitting, and it may continue weekly from there on. So
Okay.
we'll look out for that. I will attempt. I'll attempt to give you some answers for I think 3 main issues that you raised. I'll attempt to answer them. Whether you listen by phone or by air, it's all right. I want to wish you a pleasant weekend, though. Hope that everything would go fine, and come next week, you would be a lot better off.
All right. I'll listen on air and give somebody else a chance to call in while I'm like, oh, by the way, before I run, the app for the iOS, I still cannot get the app downloaded on iOS. I know the minister said it should be coming soon or whatever. I'm not sure how soon, because I'm not sure if they're going to allow persons in the country who does not have an Android phone to download the app. I'm not sure, because things seems to be going crazy to me as it relates to that particular information.
Okay.
So, yes, I've been trying. Yes, you can get it downloaded on Android, but iOS devices, the Apple devices, you can get it. And I think that the government should move quickly, because I would not be, I cannot just be here sitting when I want to come home. And just because the government did not have the act in place, did not get things operating, that I should be at a disadvantage. So I just want to leave that with you guys.
Well,
have a great weekend.
You as well. Quite
okay.
Before you answer him, though, Mr. Pola, I just want to make a quick comment. I've heard and I've been listening to and seeing a lot of the comments from individuals who have concerns as relates to policemen and the wearing of masks. So I sought to inquire with a few officers, a few friends that I have on the force, quite a number of them actually, and their concern was that of how difficult it is, because they work 6-hour shifts on their feet, mostly being active, and their concern was how difficult it was to do that, to wear the mask continuously for 6 hours on their feet in the hot sun and so on. What I did do, however, was revert to the protocol. And what the protocol did imply is that, well, not imply, it stated it directly, was that they can wear a face shield or covering as well. And maybe that is something that they need to look into or consider, the wearing of a face mask. Instead of a face mask, a face shield, because I do agree with the caller. What applies for Peter must apply for Paul, and if they are enforcing, they must also follow whatever the protocol is.
Lead by example.
Lead by example. I definitely do agree, but I, however, do understand what their plight is, although it is not plausible excuse, because they do have options in what they can do. I do think that it needs to be looked in with immediate effect. If an officer is complaining that he's unable to wear a mask.
But he has to do like they're advising everyone else to do, get a medical professional to declare that he or she is unable to wear the mask.
But if you are medically unfit to wear a mask, you should be able to at least wear a shield.
A shield, right. Yeah. And I agree with that. But also, based on the explanation given to you by some of your friends, 6-hour shift, consistently wearing a mask, right you for 6 hours could be difficult. But I do believe that from time to time within that 6-hour shift, based on the number of them and what they're doing, whether they're patrolling the street, they're checking the, they can periodically
take a break.
Take a little break and go to the side.
Yeah.
Remove the mask, 10 minutes or so, you come back and another one, do that and so. But when you are actually engaging the public, you should not be without your mask. So that I feel must be something that must be clarified, and it is not excusable in the eyes of the public that you come dealing with me, expecting me and demanding based on law, which you have to help uphold, that I wear my mask and you don't have one on. Yeah. 6 hours consistently, I accept and I understand, but go to the side, take a 5-minute break, come back another one, takes a... Hello, there's a caller online. Yes.
Hi,
good morning.
Hello. Oh no, I think I feel like we lost the call. I'm sorry.
Yeah?
There's
Okay.
someone that's been calling on WhatsApp for the longest while. I'm not sure what exactly is happening with
But you're not getting
WhatsApp.
that WhatsApp call. So why don't they
I
probably
wanna
send a message if you're not able to pick up the call?
try again for that caller. Oh, okay. I see what the problem is. I see what a problem might be. I think it's a matter of connectivity. So caller, try calling us directly as opposed to using the measure that's available on WhatsApp. Try calling us
Derek?
directly, yeah.
Okay.
Calling us directly.
Right.
But go ahead, you were going to give some
Yeah,
rationales.
I was saying, look, there's the option of the face shield, so that I think the authorities must look into. If someone is medically not able to wear it, that they can wear the shield. It is at least providing some level of protection for themselves and for the people that they have to interact with. And I also think that if it's a matter of taking a little break in between your shift, let it be organized between yourself and your partner or the partners that are there with you, that every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes or so, we'll rotate. I will get 5 minutes break to go to the side, not having to interact with the public. While I'm in the public domain, but I'm not interacting with anyone, to remove the mask a little bit, get a breather, put it back on common so another one can do the same, and so we have it rotated. These are issues that I think the police have to look into, because it's not excusable to say that 6 hours consistently wearing the mask is difficult. Yes, it is, and I do agree and I do accept, but we have to find ways to do it without putting at risk ourselves as police officers and the public. The second thing that the caller raised had to do with other persons leaving quarantine without the permission, whether or not they are charged. I can't say specifically who, but I know from what was announced by the minister, and there were about 5 or 6 persons charged, and it all had to be in association with quarantine, removing, whether it was people who aided and abetted the one who left, or were other people who left themselves. I am not absolutely sure, but for certain, there was more than one person being charged by the police in connection with quarantine and people moving from quarantine. So we need to get some verification as to whether or not the others that was charged along with the gentleman, whether they were charged for doing their own independent thing, or if it was in connection with him, whether they aided and abetted him, that we're not clear about. Hopefully, I hope it is because it is some of the other people who he's making mention of.
Yeah, we have a caller.
We have a caller there?
I'm going to try to get this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Yes, so Mr. Bola just made a point, and let me see this, that, yes, the minister did say that, some persons who would be charged, and in fact, what happened is that, for the record, the ministry don't charge people.
Yes.
The ministry refers the matter or report the breaches or the alleged breaches to the police. The police then, because enforcement is that responsibility of the police. So what happens then is that the police will then investigation, and Superintendent Cohen alluded to that this week when he let the public know that they are still investigating some matters. So the charging is the responsibility of the police to bring that matter to the court. I believe that some matters were also sent to the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, for direction on it. So, these things will take a look. I also think that, it should be speed up, because an example needs to be set out there so it can act as a deterrent.
Definitely.
So that was said. However, with all of the hysteria that is taking place right now, let me say this, yes. Where I sit in the ministry here, I know for a fact that we do get a lot of calls. And when I listened yesterday to the press briefing that was held on social media yesterday, and I listened to, someone who is supposed to be, educated enough making certain statements, I up to this point, I am still confused as to why would someone, make such pronouncements. Ms. Duncan, Mr. Bowler, listeners and viewers, let me say this quite clearly. The protocols for entry into Grenada was always online. Now, it was updated, as we always see, that the protocols, because the COVID-19 situation in Grenada is a fluid situation, the protocols can change at a moment's notice. Now, just this morning, I can tell you here that I think it was in Barbados. Barbados would have moved Canada into, I'm just pulling up my phone to make sure I'm giving you the accurate information. Yes, effective tomorrow, Friday, October 16th. Right? Canada will be placed in the category of high risk. Now, that was something that they posted yesterday, and I only saw it this morning. It means, therefore, that Canada was in Barbados's low-risk category.
Right.
I could tell you because I am part of the Caribbean Public Health Agency Risk Communications Network. Curacao has 277 active cases as we speak. Now, and a lot of these countries, at a moment's notice, can move from either bubble, low risk, medium risk, or high. So as far as Barbados is concerned, as we speak right now, yeah, Canada, like I said, is now in
high risk,
the high risk category.
Right.
Now, I wanted to establish that because I am moving now into the issue of the protocols, the entry protocols. So to the lawyer and others who were asking yesterday, let me say this. The protocol, so right, if you go now, you will see that the protocol was updated on the 11th of October. It was prior to October 11th, it was updated on September 29th. It has now been updated again. And there's some text here that says the protocol can be changed at any time due to the uncertainty of the COVID-19 virus pandemic, which is true. But let me say this with respect to all of the noise that was being made and so on. It says, number one, planning your trip to Grenada, number one, right? Where is your travel originating from? The traveler's risk category is determined by the highest risk level associated with any country that you have originated from, traveled to, or transited through within 14 days prior to arrival in Grenada. Now, with respect to the young man who everybody was speaking about, he would fall in where all other countries are. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, and that is something that we always keep reviewing. Negative. So for you to come in, you must have a negative PCR. I'm talking about all other countries.
Countries, yes.
So you must have a negative PCR test done within 7 days. Now, what the PCR does is that the PCR will tell you if you were exposed to the virus before taking the test. Now, you must have a minimum, and I don't think anybody could tell me that they don't understand what minimum is. Because if you ask somebody minimum wage, everybody know what is minimum wage. And when you ask them, so why do you think I need a raise? But conveniently, they don't understand what is minimum of 5-day reservation. Okay? So that is needed. A minimum of 5 days reservation at approved accommodation for observation and quarantine. The visitors on day 4 have the option to get a PCR test to be allowed into the community or remain at the hotel for the duration of the visit. If you opt to go home, right, or to go into the community, we mean, you must, and I could tell you, if you go on now, you will see must is in caps. You must receive confirmation of a negative PCR test and clearance from health officials. I don't see any ambiguity here as well. And the fourth bullet is that residents on day 4, it's just re-emphasizing bullet number 3. Residents on day 4 must receive confirmation of a negative PCR test and clearance from health officials before going home.
Yes.
I cannot begin to understand why we are trying to justify wrongdoing in the face of everything that has been published. It is there in black and white. Now, moreover, it is the responsibility of every traveler to whichever country they are going to check out what are the requirements for travel before buying the ticket. And also before traveling. So you have a number of things that you need to get. And my thing is that, how do you know? And I wish I had the opportunity to ask the lawyer that yesterday. If in one breath you say, that you're confused and you didn't know that had to happen, how is it you knew that you had to have approved accommodation prior to coming? All of the information is listed there, so you cannot or should not pick and choose what you want. You are exposing your family, your friends, and others to this deadly virus. So we need to stop playing the blame game and playing games with this thing. No amount of games we play, and the persons who are out there and may be feeling, well, the government should be blamed or take part of it. There's nothing about taking part of the blame here, as far as I am concerned. I think the mere fact that this gentleman, who is an adult, who lives and works in Canada, international standards, you're telling me that you know how to board a plane and fill out all of your forms and everything and cannot understand that basic thing, this is not flying by me 1 inch.
Yeah.
So we need to be responsible. And to the folks out there who are saying we ought to be responsible, but there are no buts where health and safety is concerned. You're either responsible or you're irresponsible.
Absolutely.
And as such, the information is there and it is clear, crystal clear. And we encourage persons, please acquaint yourselves with the travel declaration forms. Mm-hmm. Please acquaint yourself with the home quarantine forms, likewise the entry protocols. And it is a criminal offense to breach the Quarantine Act. Remember, the Quarantine Act can just pass. So everybody who want to jump up, the Quarantine Act was there before I was born. So the Act then just passed. What was just passed was
the amendment,
COVID-19 regulations,
yes,
and which embodied part of the Quarantine Act.
But may I just ask you quickly, because we're running out of time, there are 3 things I just want to put on the table for you. You don't have to answer all of them now, only one. One is that it is our understanding that upon arriving and going into quarantine, you have to sign a declaration, which in essence, in short, states all of the conditionalities and all of the
that
things
is absolutely
that
correct.
Right. So it means that even if you did not know all of what you explained before, upon signing that declaration, you are indeed saying, look, I take responsibility for being here until I receive the okay from the authorities to go.
That is true.
So if that is true, that just seals the case, right? There are 2 other things, because we're really running out of time, and we'll hope that we can speak to you again sometime next week.
But before I go, I will say this.
Yeah.
If you go onto the Government of Grenada site, likewise, www.gov.gd, or you go onto the Ministry of Health, Government of Grenada, COVID19.gd, right? So COVID19.gov.gd site, you would see the form. On the passenger declaration form, you also have to fill that and sign. And there are about 3 or 4 bullets which re-emphasizes everything I just said, that you agree to do X and Y. You agree to take measures that is going to to safeguard the country from further spread of COVID and so on. So it just doesn't really add up.
Yes.
When persons make those kind of childish arguments and so on. But anyway, have a good weekend.
Wait, before you run, quickly, two things. If you can do for us and we can get a call next week, please God, we'll be absolutely happy for that. One is that there's a gentleman who keeps calling us out of New York and says that he has an Apple phone and he's finding it difficult to download.
Let me just say that briefly. We are aware that Apple platforms do take a bit longer than the Android. And I heard him a while ago.
Right.
So all those who have Apple phones, we would not penalize you. We will not be hard on you if you are unable to download the app, because we genuinely thought that within 2 weeks we would have had all of those things in them sorted. Unfortunately, it's taken more than that, and we understand that there are many more countries who are applying to Apple. So we are experiencing, that bit of delay as it respects to Apple, but we will not penalize you for that. You are free to come as long as you follow the other protocols.
The other protocols. Great. So thanks for that answer. And the second thing, a request that I'm making to you, if it is at all possible that you speak to your PS or probably your finance officer, because something that we think is lacking is that over the COVID period, the Ministry of Health would have expended far more dollars and cents than was in its regular annual budget from government to take care of that. If we can get the public to understand how much more, is it millions, is it hundreds of thousands, whatever, was spent, and that is in addition to the regular budgetary amount, that I think will give also a greater understanding of the sacrifice and commitment that the government and people of Grenada is making for the kind of security that we're getting.
Mr. Bola, I will do that for the people of Grenada.
Thank you so much.
But before I even run off, I want to say that it has been so much so, that I have not even been compensated yet, and I understand what's going on.
We're going to talk about your compensation next week, please, God.
No, I'm saying that to actually say that, look, a lot of us are doing these things, so you're making that sacrifice because we understand what is going on.
Yes.
And although there is a cost to it, but people must also understand that, listen, healthcare is not cheap.
Definitely,
right? And so you must be man enough to, as much as and best as possible, to follow the protocols so we do not have to spend monies unnecessarily.
That's why I want you to come up with the figure for us. And please, if beforehand you let Ms. Duncan know which day you can call so we can make arrangements to have you come on.
I will try. Because of what is going on now, I am extremely busy.
We understand.
I don't want to make no commitment.
Right. When you can tell us so we can prepare for you.
But once I have time, I'll call in.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful. And we thank you for that. And callers, we had it there. It's a pity we can't continue here. Time is upon us. Time has passed us, and we want to really thank Mr. Kevin for coming and explain what we already knew, most of us, but for putting it so succinctly so that we can understand it much easier. I want to wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. It's the weekend. We need to have a little fun. We need to rest. We need to rejuvenate for the new week, which starts next week, Monday, the week of work. But in so doing, we need to continue to follow the protocols. Be careful. And recognize, my friends, that there'll be no success without struggle. Doesn't matter how far down the wrong way you have gone, there's still a chance and an opportunity to stop, to turn around, and to start going along the right track. Just remembering always that you should not give up, and it takes effort to get you to where you want to be and to achieve what you want to achieve. Have a good Friday, everyone. Take good care, and happy birthday again to you, Madam Michelle.
Yeah. Guys, and I also want to remind you as we close that it is October, which means we are in the month of the child. And much has not, I haven't heard much about, we're not making a big enough fuss about the month of the child. We're hearing a lot of other things, but I think we need to place some emphasis and some focus on that. Guys, it's always a pleasure being here with you. In whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure. We always want to be talking with you. We don't ever want to be talking about you. Enjoy your weekend until Monday, and stay tuned for the National Report.
Work progressing according to plan to stabilize land slippage on Morass Hill. We'll have the details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Thursday, October 15th, 2020, I'm Delroy Lozan. Construction of a 65-foot retaining wall along the land slippage area at Morass Hill to stabilize the roadway is now complete. In an interview with GIS on Thursday, Desmond John, employed with Sunrise Construction Inc., said despite a few setbacks caused by the weather, the project is still on track to be completed and opened on November 15, as signed in the contract with the Government of Grenada.
The project entails a retaining wall 65 feet long by 16 feet high with a guardrail and 19 feet of concrete road with a double mesh A252 and 8 inches thick reinforced.
Okay, so what is your progress now? Is the wall is complete, and what's the next step?
The wall is completed 100% and we're in the process of taking out all the overburden, remove the wearing coast that's there presently, take away all the backfill down to a level of 7 feet and replace it with good compactable material that we are laying in layers of 20 inches and compacting to get at least 105, 110 practa.
Recent heavy rains also caused minor delays in plans for backfilling and compacting to construct a durable motorway. John is confident, however, that his team will utilize the good days to ensure the job is completed within the given time frame.
I'm confident. I'm very confident because the job will be completed before the 15th of November, but because of the curing time, in order for the concrete to meet its maximum strength, so by the time the trailer trucks and so start passing it, it could have the resilience, to withstand the load.
So how soon you think you would start in terms of, getting rid of all of this topsoil here and the actual compacting?
Actually, the schedule for the compaction is yesterday. We have a little challenge with the weather, but we are on site, and every opportunity that we get, we are going in and see how much we can take out.
Work is progressing on the construction of the new wing at the Presentation Brothers College that will house the building tech, technical drawing, and multi-science lab. The project, which began on May 25, 2020, will be completed in 1 year. A contract was awarded to Kenny's Construction Company and Consultancy by WeiVybz Engineering Consultants Limited. On Thursday, the GIS visited the construction site and spoke with resident engineer with WeiVybz Consulting Engineering, Dwayne Noel, on the progress of the work.
It would be 2.5 stories, with the multi-science lab being on 1 story, building tech and technical drawing on the other, and then a change room storage facility on the third, which would be half. Right? Because of the terrain, we were able to include that small portion for a change room and so on at the bottom floor. Right now, we are about 20% complete on the building. Right? In terms of where we are or where the contractor is in his progress, he's a bit delayed, but we can understand that because of the rain that we've been having for the last couple of days. I know that things will be back on track because I've seen changes made by the contractor to recuperate the time lost due to the rain for the last couple of days.
Noel says the structure is designed to withstand hurricane and earthquakes.
The structure itself is reinforced concrete. Right? In terms of it being hurricane proof and so on, what we have included in this building is louvered windows, right, which would allow for better resistance to the hurricanes. But additionally, the type of foundation, right, is a pad footing, which would increase the bearing capacity against the soil and so on. And that would be a great assistance in terms of earthquakes and so on, or the distribution of load from top to the bottom. Right? So the building itself, as well as the soil condition that we have here, would be resistant to hurricanes and earthquakes.
Construction of the new wing is funded in part by the Government of Grenada and the Caribbean Development Bank. 41 locals are employed on the project That includes technical staff and laborers. This is the National Report. The news will continue in just a moment.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back. A selection of sanitizing products worth 15,000 EC dollars was donated by the Grenada Cooperative League to the Ministry of Education on Thursday as part of their efforts to give back to the community for the 72nd anniversary of International Credit Union Day. Annette Moore has this report.
The theme for this year's International Credit Union Day is Inspiring Hope for a Global Community, and the Grenada Cooperative League did just that by way of its donation. President of the Grenada Cooperative League, Philip Tallisford, says this is the League's way of supporting the immense task of ensuring the effective implementation of COVID-19 preventative measures in schools in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique.
The Grenada Cooperative Credit Union League Limited is extremely happy and proud this morning that we are able to make a contribution to the Ministry of Education. Certain supplies, including hand sanitizers, gloves, dispensers, and a few other items for the benefit of our schools to fight this COVID pandemic. Hope is extremely important in our daily lives, especially in this period. And so our partnering with the Ministry of Education in fighting this pandemic by way of distribution of these items will go a long way in assisting in combating this enemy. So we want to ensure that the learning environment is a safe one for our young minds.
Deputy Chief Education Officer Astra Frank Mackenzie extended best wishes to the Grenada Cooperative League Limited on International Credit Union Day and thanked them for the donation on behalf of the Ministry of Education.
We are pleased that as part of your outreach, you have chosen to partner with us to directly support schools as we implement our COVID-19 response and recovery initiatives. What we are able to do in these economically challenging times is definitely just a drop in the bucket. This year, government was faced with new challenges that necessitated a response to supporting schools given the current COVID-19 pandemic.
Frank Mackenzie noted that government has had to scale up its expenditure on heightened sanitation efforts at schools.
As we transition back to full-scale operations of schools, schools will need more support to procure sanitation supplies. And we are forever grateful to our partners who have stepped into the gap to help us support schools in these ways. We really want to communicate how much we value these partnerships in the delivery of education. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, and by extension all the school communities who will benefit from this donation, I thank you for this generous donation which supports the Ministry's COVID-19 response and recovery program.
The Grenada Credit Union brand is managed by the Grenada Cooperative League Limited. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
Thank you, Annette. Finally, in the news, 10 micro, small, and medium-sized business developers were the recipients of grant funding from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and the Grenada Investment Development Corporation, the GIDC. The grant funding is geared towards assisting businesses to transition into online and digital operations. It forms part of the UNDP's Eastern Caribbean Grant Recovery Program to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on businesses. The pandemic has negatively impacted businesses throughout Grenada, resulting in decreased production, limited or loss of access to raw materials, zero sales, and loss of markets.
The ability to design new websites and where websites existed, to upgrade those websites. And we are not just talking about a website to showcase the products and service, but the ability to order online. So you can purchase an e-commerce website. The ability to upgrade the social media platforms. And for many businesses who already had that, again, to improve it. To purchase inventory. To improve your branding and promotional materials, as well as to purchase equipment and storage containers and so on, because one would appreciate if you have to deliver goods to customers, it must be done in a safe and healthy environment.
That was Kesha Mitchell, Senior Vice President for Business Development at GIDC. Funding to the tune of 10,800 EC dollars was presented to 10 existing enterprises to undertake small projects or activities. UNDP's Grenada Coordinator Rudo Udika emphasized the importance of digitization in emerging markets.
These activities are part of the UNDP's COVID-19 recovery program for the Eastern Caribbean that is focused on, in addition to MSME support, promotion of resilient health systems to respond to COVID-19, including health procurement support, assessment and addressing the socioeconomic impacts of COVID-19, and managed crisis through a multi-sectoral response framework, which includes assistance to reopening of the economy. This program is the start of continued support to the government of Grenada in response to COVID-19, and we are really pleased that we've been able to have this initial intervention with the GIDC, and with additional projects rolled out in the near future, tailored around strengthening national health capacities and reducing negative socioeconomic impact of the COVID-19 crisis in Grenada through further support to MSMEs.
The grant funding, according to Senior Project Manager in the Ministry of Finance, Alistair Bain, is timely, relevant, and creates numerous opportunities for business and economic growth.
We have the opportunity to move several of our operations and activities to online platforms, and that is why this grant is so timely, it is so relevant, and it is so responsive to our current situation. We have opportunities for the production of sanitizing solutions, utilizing local raw materials. We have the opportunity to streamline our services and to be more responsive to our customers' needs. The opportunity is presented by online services and mobile services, and home safe delivery is something that we did not envisage, or we did not see the need for a few months ago. Therefore, this initiative of the UNDP, in collaboration with the government of Grenada and implemented by the GIDC, is not just timely, but it is well placed to facilitate the recovery of the MSME sector.
That story concludes the National Report for Thursday, 15th October 2020. Recapping the headline: work progressing according to plan to stabilize land slippage on Morass Hill. That's all from us here at the newsroom. On behalf of all who made this newscast possible, I'm Delroy Lozan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.